Hello and welcome to this edition of the news. I'm Rukma with you, and over the next few minutes we'll be taking you through the major developments in all the top stories that are happening around India and the world. So let's begin by taking a look at the headlines we are tracking at this hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to lay the foundation stone of 4-laning of key sections of Shri Sant Gyaneshwar Maharaj Palki Marg and Shri Sant Tukaram Maharaj Palki Marg today via video conferencing. Prime Minister will also dedicate to the nation multiple road projects for boosting connectivity to Pandharpur. PM Modi visits senior BJP leader Lal Krishna Advani at his residence on his birthday. Vice President Venkaiah Naidu, Union Ministers Amit Shah, Rajnath Singh also visit and extend greetings to the senior leader. President Ramnath Kovind confers Padma Awards at ceremonial function at Rashtrapati Bhavan. A total of 73 awards, including 4 Padma Vibhushan and 8 Padma Bhushans, conferred in the first session. Severe waterlogging continues in Chennai and other parts of northern Tamil Nadu. Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaks to Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin to discuss the situation. Chief Minister announces closure of schools in 4 northern districts of the state. In international news, United States lifts travel restrictions for much of the world beginning today. Restrictions were imposed from early 2020 to address the spread of COVID-19. And now for our top story. In an effort to facilitate the movement of devotees to Pandharpur, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will today lay the foundation stone for the 4-laning of 5 sections of Sant Gyaneshwara Maharaj Palki Marg, that is NH 965, and 3 sections of Shri Sant Tukaram Maharaj Palki Marg, that is NH 965G, via video conferencing. Dedicated walkways for Palki will be constructed on either side of these national highways, providing hassle-free and safe passage to devotees. Nearly 221 kilometers of Sant Gyaneshwar Maharaj Palki Marg and about 130 kilometers of Sant Tukaram Maharaj Palki Marg will be 4-lane with dedicated walkways for Palki on either side at estimated costs of more than 6,690 crore rupees and nearly 4,400 crore rupees respectively. During the event, the Prime Minister will also dedicate to the nation more than 223 kilometers of completed and upgraded road projects constructed with an estimated cost of over 1,180 crore rupees at different national highways for boosting connectivity to Pandharpur. In a tweet, the Prime Minister said, and I quote, "Pandharpur has a special place in the hearts and minds of many. The temple there draws people from all sections of society, from all over India. At 3:30 p.m. tomorrow, 8th November, I will join a program relating to upgrading Pandharpur's infra needs." Prime Minister Narendra Modi today greeted veteran Bharatiya Janata Party leader Lal Krishna Advani. Prime Minister Modi visited the residence of the veteran BJP stalwart L.K. Advani and wished him on his birthday. The Prime Minister said he was praying for his long and healthy life and wished him the same. Vice President Venkaiah Naidu, Union Ministers Amit Shah and Rajnath Singh also visited Lal Krishna Advani's home and greeted him. Earlier, in a tweet, Prime Minister Modi had written, "The nation remains indebted to Advani ji for his numerous efforts towards empowering people and enhancing cultural pride. He further says Advaniji is also widely respected for his scholarly pursuits and rich intellect. And President Ramnath Kovind today conferred the Padma Awards for the year 2020 at a ceremonial function at Rashtrapati Bhavan. The ceremony is being held in 4 sessions. Padma Vibhushan, the second highest civilian award, was awarded to veteran socialist leader and former Defence Minister George Fernandes, former Finance Minister Arun Jaitley, former External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj. All these awards were conferred posthumously for the recipients' exceptional and distinguished service to the nation. In the year 2020, 141 Padma Awards were conferred, including 4 duo case. In a duo case, the award is counted as one. The list comprised 7 Padma Vibhushan, 16 Padma Bhushan and 118 Padma Shri awards. A total of more than 250 awards will be conferred for the years 2020 and 2021. While the President has approved conferring of 119 Padma Awards, including 1 duo case for the year 2021. The list comprises 7 Padma Vibhushan, 10 Padma Bhushan and 102 Padma Shri awards. Padma Awards are announced each year on the occasion of Republic Day, and the awards are conferred by the President in a ceremonial function held at Rashtrapati Bhavan. And heavy downpour is wreaking havoc in Tamil Nadu as the northeast monsoon in the state has been vigorous, bringing a spate of widespread rainfall. The Met Department has predicted that a low-pressure area is likely to form over the southeast Bay of Bengal tomorrow, likely to move towards the North Tamil Nadu coast in the next 48 hours, resulting in an active rain spell for another 3 days. In the wake of heavy rains in the northern region, State Chief Minister M.K. Stalin discussed arrangements to tackle the monsoon's impact with district collectors. He has also announced the closure of schools and colleges in Chennai, Tiruvallur, Chengalpattu and Kanchipuram districts for the next 2 days. Most government offices will remain closed today. The Chief Minister has also urged private firms to announce a holiday or allow employees to work from home. Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke to Chief Minister Stalin on Sunday, assuring him of all help from the centre in rescue and relief work. In the Union Territory of Puducherry, 2-day holiday has been declared for all schools and colleges and for Puducherry and Karaikal districts for today and tomorrow due to incessant rains. In an order, the Joint Director of the Education Department said the reopening of the government and private schools for classes 1 to 8 was also postponed due to incessant rainfall in the Union Territory. Earlier, it was decided to reopen schools for 1 to 8 classes from today. The district administration of Villapuram and Kudalur also declared holidays for schools and colleges today. An update now on the nationwide COVID-19 vaccination drive. Vaccinations have crossed 108 crores now, with over 108 crore 47 lakh vaccine doses to be exact being administered across the country so far. More than 23 lakh 84,000 vaccine doses were administered in the past 24 hours. And now for a look at the COVID-19 situation from across India. The recovery of 13,204 patients in the past 24 hours has increased the cumulative tally of recoveries to 3,37,63,104. Consequently, our recovery rate now stands at 98.24%, the highest since March 2020. Sustained and collaborative efforts by the centre and states and union territories continue the trend of less than 50,000 daily new cases being reported for 134 consecutive days now. 11,451 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours. The active case is presently at 1 crore 1,42,826, the lowest in 257 days. Active cases presently constitute 0.42% of the country's total positive cases, the lowest since March 2020. The testing capacity across India continues to be expanded. The past 24 hours saw a total of 8,70,058 tests conducted. India has so far conducted over 61.60 crore cumulative tests. While testing capacity has been enhanced across the country, weekly positivity rate remains at 1.26%, less than 2% for the past 45 days. The daily positivity rate stands at 1.32%. Daily positivity rate has remained below 2% for the last 35 days. Meanwhile, over 116 crore vaccine doses have been provided to states and union territories so far. Vaccines have been given through the central government free of cost channel and direct state procurement categories. The Health Ministry has said that more than 15 crore 60 lakh balanced and unutilized COVID vaccine doses are still available with states and union territories. The ministry said the centre is committed to accelerating the pace and the scope of COVID-19 vaccinations throughout India. With the identification of 10 more patients, the total number of people infected by the Zika virus in Kanpur in Uttar Pradesh has reached 89. The state government has established an integrated command center to stop the spread of the infection. A team of health officials has been deputed in a command center which is working 24/7 and monitoring the situation for testing and advising them to keep their surroundings clean. Kanpur District Magistrate Vishal has said that the team is also helping people, giving them detailed information about the virus and its spread and its symptoms. And 4 personnel of the CRPF were killed. 3 others were injured on Monday after one of their colleagues opened fire at them at a camp of the paramilitary force in Chhattisgarh's Sukma district. The incident occurred at around 3:30 a.m. in the camp of CRPF's 50th Battalion in Lingampalli village of the district, located nearly 400 kilometers away from capital Raipur. According to preliminary information, the soldier opened fire at his colleagues with his AK-47 rifle. CRPF has ordered an inquiry into the case of the fratricide. Meanwhile, the injured soldiers have been rushed to a nearby hospital and are being treated for the injuries. And now for some festival news. The 4-day Chhat Puja celebrations began this morning with the ritual of Nahai Khai. Devotees on this day take a dip in the holy river early in the morning in Nahai Khai and later cook a meal for themselves. The festival is dedicated to the sun god, whom devotees believe sustains life on earth, and that the early sunlight helps to cure many diseases, is a great source of healing. Women fast for over 30 hours, praying for the safety and well-being of their families. Delhi's air quality is showing marginal signs of improvement. The AQI, or Air Quality Index, has now moved up to very poor from severe. The Central Pollution Control Board data shows that the early AQI for New Delhi stood at 384. Yesterday, the average AQI was 428, which is in the severe category. Delhi is experiencing 3 consecutive days of severe air quality due to the double impact of firecrackers burst during Diwali and stubble burning in Haryana and Punjab. The CPCB classifies an AQI of 0 to 50 as good, 51 to 100 as satisfactory, 101 to 200 as moderate, 201 to 300 as poor, 301 to 400 as very poor, and above 401 as severe. And time now for a short break. More up ahead here on DD India. Stay tuned and keep watching.
With the world's largest COVID vaccination drive, India is leading the way. As the vaccine reaches every corner of the nation, do not forget the mantra, Dawai bhi, Kadai bhi. Let's continue our fight against COVID-19. Vaccination along with social distancing, sanitization and masks.
Mask up, India!
Put your mask on and cover your nose and be safe.
Mask Up India.
Welcome back after the break. Now a look at updates on COVID-19 from across the world. COVID-19 cases have crossed 25 crores across the globe, recording more than 22 crores, 68 lakh recoveries from the disease, while the number of fatalities stand at about 50 lakh 64,000. The United States continues to remain the worst affected with the disease, with over 4 crores 73 lakh cases, and the US has lost more than 7 lakh 75,000 lives due to COVID-19. And from now on, fully vaccinated Indians will be able to travel to the United States from today. They will, however, have to show proof of a negative coronavirus test before boarding a flight to the US. And as per the guidelines provided by the White House, unvaccinated minors will need to test at the same time as adults with whom they are traveling, 3 days with vaccinated adults and 1 day with unvaccinated adults. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention has determined that for purposes of travel to the US, vaccines accepted will include FDA approved or authorized and World Health Organization emergency use listed vaccines. With this, the US has ended historic restrictions that had barred much of the world from entering the United States for as long as 21 months. The COVID-19 pandemic hit economies of the world, has Singapore as in the worst of recessions that it has faced since its independence. Singapore's economy shrank 5.8% in pandemic-stricken 2020. Based on advanced estimates by the Trade and Industry Ministry, the economy shrank 3.8% in the final quarter, an improvement from the quarter before as COVID-19 restrictions eased. The advanced estimates were slightly better than forecast of a 6 to 6.5% economic contraction for the year. The construction sector was the worst performer, recording its fourth straight quarter of contraction and shrinking nearly 34% for the whole year. The services sector shrank 7.8%, even though the economy has started to reopen progressively since June and is now in phase 3 with so much uncertainty in the rest of the world, like new strains of the coronavirus and continued lockdowns. The MTI expects the Singapore economy to expand by 4% to 6% this year. Australia's largest city, Sydney, will further ease social distancing curbs from today, a month after emerging from the lockdown that lasted nearly 100 days. Australia crossed the 80% mark of full inoculations on Saturday, also easing international border curbs for the first time during the pandemic, but only for its vaccinated public from states with high levels of inoculation. However, domestic travel is still hindered as most states and union territories keep internal borders shut. Western Australia state will reopen when it hits the 90% level of double vaccine doses, despite the Delta outbreaks that have brought lockdowns for months in the two largest cities of Sydney and Melbourne. The country's tally of COVID-19 infections is far lower than many developed nations, at just over 180,000 cases and 1,597 deaths. Meanwhile, global COVID-19 cases have surpassed 250 million as some countries in Eastern Europe are experiencing record outbreaks, even as the Delta variant surge is easing and many countries are resuming trade and tourism. Infections are still rising in 55 out of 240 countries, with Russia, The Ukraine and Greece at or near record levels of reported cases since the pandemic struck 2 years ago. Several world leaders have stressed the need to improve vaccination programs across the globe, particularly in the least wealthy countries. In other international news, India has convened a high-level meeting of regional countries over the situation in Afghanistan on the 10th of November. The meeting, termed the Regional Security Dialogue on Afghanistan, will be held in New Delhi. The NSA-level meeting will be chaired by NSA Ajit Doval. The national security advisors of India, Russia, Iran and Central Asian countries will be attending the conference. A security expert who routinely deals with large events cautions against speculating about where to place blame on the deadly stampede at rap star Travis Scott's Astroworld Music Festival, and attended by 50,000 people in Houston. He added that ultimately it may be close to impossible to stop a massive crowd from trampling on people. Comparing Friday night stampede, which killed at least 8 and injured dozens, the out-of-control rioters on the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol, where an angry crowd was significantly smaller. At least 2 investigations, one of them criminal, were underway on Sunday into the Houston stampede. 2 of the victims were teenagers, aged 14 and 16, caught in the crushing surge of the crowd during Scott's performance.
Look at what happened at the Capitol with the people surging in, and they had nowhere near 50,000 people. But even law enforcement, with all of the tools, all of the technical know-how, was still unable to stop the people. So unfortunately, there's really nothing that can be done in those situations with that many people. It's a very large force and almost impossible to deal with. So I think that from this event, one of the many things that we're going to learn from this is, yeah, you'd have to pay more, but ultimately with this situation, I don't care if you paid a guy $1 million, you can't prevent 50,000 people from trampling anybody. So.
And we now take you to Turkey, where scores of colorful hot air balloons fill the skyline of the ancient region known as Cappadocia. A time-lapse video captured the balloons, the magnificent sight, as it was painted over the unique volcanic rock landscape. So splendid visuals there from Turkey. That's all we have for you in this edition of the news. News and updates continue on DD India. So do stay tuned. Namaskar.